For those who may be new listeners to the Action Catalyst, it's our chance each week to learn from people who truly understand what it means to inspire others, to give insight to help people grow, and who are constantly on the path of personal growth themselves. Having the opportunity to just spend time with Dave Ramsey in his studio was one of the great privileges of being the host of this whole broadcast. Dave came from an origin where we would say, well, many people would have stopped. Failing as an investor, owing a huge amount of money, losing so much money by the time he was 30. But his thought process was, you just make it happen again. He did it in the area that he understood best, which was real estate. But fundamentally, although he kicked himself, was frustrated, was angry, he got himself back into motion. When I had a chance to visit Ramsey Solutions headquarters, I saw a number of quotes on the wall. Some were from the Bible, some were from famous people, but one of my favorites was from Dave's grandma. There's a great place to go when you're broke, to work. And obviously he took that on himself. In terms of scaling the business, his whole notion is you add people who have the expertise perhaps that you don't have when you become too busy to do it yourself, and making sure that it is people that are mission-oriented. They have a 90-day orientation program there, and at the end of that program, people either need to be completely bought into the mission or they're not bought into the mission, and if they're not going to be a part of the team. It's about bringing the best game. It's about making sure that they are promoting what best game means, both by their actions and by their communications with other people that are there. Dave has pioneered this concept of entre-leadership, and as you read reviews of books on entrepreneurship, the reviews of entre-leadership are stellar, and they are because he not only pulls together a lot of the basic strategies for organizing a business, but it's also the attitudes and the philosophies that help a business go well. And one of his biggest is that people cannot be managed. He said, resources, things, that's what can be managed, but people must be served. And when I asked him a little bit about that, he said, being a servant doesn't mean that you're subservient. It means that you're focused on doing what's best for that other person and fulfilling them. Sometimes that means having a bit of tough love, that sanctioning incompetence would not be an example of a servant mentality. This is a key insight for us as leaders, the realization that when somebody's not bringing their best game or when they fundamentally are out of alignment with our values, we don't serve them by allowing that to keep going. It's got to be confronted and dealt with. But that's truly what a servant leadership is all about. In terms of dealing with brick walls, Dave said, well, it starts with your mindset. He did say that the more brick walls that you face and eventually scale, it becomes somewhat easier because you develop some strategies. He develops those strategies through his team, getting them together and saying, what are our options? We don't know how to do this, not yet. Let's learn how to do this. And through the course of that, develop the techniques and the processes that help them overcome those problems. Dave has a unique answer when I said, so what do you do how do you avoid complacency and the tendency to mediocrity? He said, well, when we get complacent is when we're not having fun anymore. Change up some things, change up the way you do things, take on new challenges. And Dave obviously has done that himself in a fantastic way to make that work. The issue of life balance, somebody that is built a $200 million organization that's adding a phenomenal new building that is continuing to reach out to change people's lives for the better through the financial peace counseling that they give. Dave has a great approach about balance. He said, balance is something we achieve over a long period of time, and that in the course of achieving something significant, we choose consciously to be out of balance. We do that thoughtfully, we do that prayerfully, we do that in communication with the people that are important to us. But when we choose to be out of balance, sometimes in the short run, in pursuit of the right objectives, then we gain true balance in the long run, which is phenomenal. Interesting, when I talked to Dave about how do you manage your thoughts, how do you manage your self-talk, he said, well, I guess I was exposed to positive and constructive comment all my life. I've always been kind of a weirdo. It's that ability to not take himself too seriously, but to take what he does seriously that helps make him such an inspiring person to be around. It's a great lesson for all of us that influence others. Can we expose them to positive information, to positive videos, to great books, to healthy thinking, and help them to understand that we are mission-driven? And if we don't have a clear vision of our mission as leaders, there's no possible way that the people we're trying to lead can have that clear vision. So let's make that vision a big one, an unselfish one, a joyous one, and see how people continue to respond and how they grow. Dave Ramsey is somebody that I look forward to continuing to learn from, as I've been blessed to do for a long period of time, and hope you've enjoyed the time with him as much as I have. So until next time, this is Dan Moore. Thank you for joining the Action Catalyst.